Good evening, I'm Kimilia and this is KiniNews. Anwar Ibrahim dropped a bombshell today alleging certain people have already cast their ballots for GE15.
Anwar Ibrahim has alleged that military personnel had cast their ballot for the 15th general election. He said this particularly involved those in the Bera parliamentary constituency, contested by caretaker Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Speaking at an event in Kuala Nerus today, Anwar also alleged that the military personnel were paid 300 ringgit to do so. He said he received authentic information that military personnel and postal voters have started voting this morning. He added that this is a violation of the Election Commission's regulations. He said the ballots cast today by the military and police must be cancelled and allow them to revote on November 15th. Responding to Anwar's allegation, Ismail Sabri said the claim was defamatory and degrades the dignity of military personnel. Berita Harian also quoted him as saying that Anwar's allegation was intended to create a negative public perception of BN, especially ahead of GE15. Ismail Sabri added that Anwar must apologize to the military personnel for his malicious allegation. Malaysia Kini has also attempted to contact EC for comments.
The government has responded to a lawsuit by flood victims by saying it has taken reasonable and appropriate steps to prevent floods and that the 2021 Taman Sri Muda floods were acts of God.
The federal government and 5 others described the flood that hit Taman Sri Muda in December last year as acts of God. In their statement of defense against a lawsuit by 50 flood victims, the 6 defendants contended that reasonable efforts have been made to mitigate the risk of floods. 6 defendants contended that the floods that took place were caused by continuous heavy rain, which were influenced by 3 factors. The factors were namely Typhoon Rai, the monsoon season, and low-pressure system from the South China Sea that entered the peninsula via Pahang and crossed the mid-peninsula towards the Straits of Malacca. They also said that the situation was one outside the control of humans. The federal government is the 10th defendant. The other 5 are the Director General of NADMA, the Minister in the PM's department, the Meteorological Department's Director General, the Environment and Water Minister, the Irrigation and Drainage Department Director General, are the 1st to 5th defendants targeted by the civil suit. The 1st to 5th as well as 10th defendants claimed that following floods in December 1995 and March 1996, the federal and state governments had taken steps to implement flood mitigation projects, with the federal government limited to financing the efforts. They claimed that the flood retention ponds and bund were among the reasonable and appropriate steps undertaken to prevent water spillover from Klang River, among others. However, in the 50 residents' reply filed at the same court, the flood victims contended that the 2021 floods cannot be called acts of God, as these were due to inadequate infrastructure that led to constant flooding since 1995.
Azmin is often described as a traitor by his rivals. However, in Tambun, he said it's Anwar Ibrahim who is the real traitor.
PN Election Director Azmin Ali has called his former mentor Anwar Ibrahim the father of traitors. Azmin, now a Bersatu Supreme Council member, detailed 2 moves taken by the PKR president throughout his political career due to his purported power-hungry behavior. Speaking to reporters in Tambun, Perak on Thursday, he highlighted the so-called Kajang move and Port Dickson move. Azmin said Anwar plotted to become the Selangor Menteri Besar in 2014, as well as the Prime Minister. Azmin added that Abdul Khalid Ibrahim was booted out through a non-democratic way. Meanwhile, the Port Dickson move occurred less than a year after the 2018 general election. It came after Anwar's release from prison upon receiving a royal pardon from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Muhammad V. The Port Dickson MP at the time, Daniel Balagopal Abdullah, vacated his seat, which triggered a by-election that Anwar won, paving his way back to Parliament. Azmin was in Kelabang Jaya to offer support to his coalition colleague, Ahmad Faizal Azumu, who was contesting in the Tambun parliamentary seat against Anwar. Azmin said that during the Sheraton move, which caused the downfall of the Harapan federal government, then Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad was not pressured to resign.
We'll find out tomorrow whether the 16 LRT stations closed this week will be reopened. In the same press conference, Wee Ka Seong danced around the question when asked if anyone from the rail company would be sacked.
I am here to solve the problem, to make sure I protect the life of all Malaysians.
Caretaker Transport Minister Wee Ka Seong said further tests are being conducted to investigate the disruption of the LRT system, and an announcement would be made at 6 p.m. tomorrow if the LRT service would resume operation. We added that the government-appointed independent consulting firm is also checking if it was an act of sabotage. At a press conference in Complex Rapid Rail today, we explained that with the replacement modem and power supply for the tracks now in place, the issue has been rectified. However, he stressed that further tests on the Kelana-Jaya line tomorrow are still necessary. According to Wee, the test taking place tomorrow will see the train running the length of a full day's service along the Kelana-Jaya LRT line. The Kelana-Jaya line, which opened in 1998, serves 200,000 riders daily. We also revealed that the rail company could be compensating those impacted by the LRT service disruptions through an extension of the validity period of train passes. Since the incident, Rapid Rail CEO Amir Hamdan has faced calls for his resignation and termination. Asked by Malaysia Kini on the resignation calls, we sidestepped the question, saying,
What do you have to say about the calls for resignation? Calls for resignation in Pasarana.
I'm here just to solve the problem. I'm not creating problem. To me, you can ask whoever who raised this question. Okay? I'm here to work to solve this problem.
So Pasarana will not be taking action on that?
Your analysis, please. I've said I only answered questions related to this.
You know what's stupid? If you asked Hadi Awang, he would say asset declarations.
Past President Abdul Hadi Awang said PKR's decision to compel its candidates to declare their assets prior to election day was a form of stupidity. According to Hadi, they want to show off. Speaking to reporters after delivering his weekly lecture in Marang, Terengganu today, Hadi said politicians should instead show that they are good people. Hadi said this when asked to comment on whether PAS would follow PKR's footsteps in having election candidates declare their assets. PKR, Muda and PSM have done so in order for the public to evaluate if MPs use their position to enrich themselves.
Hadi was on a roll today. He also explained his poor attendance to Parliament.
Past President Abdul Hadi Awang has dismissed criticisms over his frequent absence in Parliament as MP for Marang. Earlier, Malaysia Kini reported that in the 5 sessions from July 2021 to March 2022, Hadi attended only 21 out of 71 days. He said Dewan Rakyat is not like school, where one needs to attend daily for the entire session. Speaking to reporters in Marang today, he said ministers come in to reply to questions, and then when that is done, they leave to perform duties elsewhere. He added he was absent from Parliament to attend to other obligations as an MP. Although not in cabinet, the PN government in 2020 appointed him special envoy to the Middle East. This accords him the same status as a cabinet minister. MPs are considered to be in attendance even if they only attend part of the sitting, and are marked as absent if they do not show up at all.
Fahmi Reza has been holding classes on elections. However, certain universities don't seem to be a fan of this work. Today at UiTM, he was stopped again.
Encik Surya ni dari Polis Bantuan. Dia bagi aku untuk ikut dia, dan dia kata program ni kena bersurat.
Artist and activist Fahmi Reza's class democracy session at UiTM's Shah Alam today was halted. As he was told to stop, chants of protest from students could be heard. Fahmi said he was told he could not continue with the class by the auxiliary police tasked by UiTM officials. Class democracy refers to classes on electoral politics primarily conducted by Fahmi on TikTok live streams since Parliament was dissolved on October 10th. In the past week, he held a physical class at the invitation of students at the International Islamic University of Malaysia and University Kebangsaan Malaysia. The class at UKM was also halted midway yesterday, and Fahmi resumed the class at a cafe nearby with several dozen students in tow. In UiTM today, about 100 students who attended the session started jeering and chanted Hidup Mahasiswa and Hidup Rakyat. Malaysia Kini has contacted UKM and UiTM for a response. Youth voters are of a particular interest in GE15 after the minimum age of voting was lowered to 18.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.